Our first guest today is part of the Speaker Slam Inspirational Speaking Competition, which is being held in North America. It's their largest inspirational speaking competition, dedicated to, this is really cool, empowering individuals to share their stories and inspire change. Taking place in Toronto, March's theme is No Risk, No Reward. Joining us now is local competitor Lindsey Mazza. Lindsey, so nice to see you. Welcome to the THN studios.
Thank you for having me.
What a great event. Talk to us a little bit about your journey and what has got you to this point. We see here on the screen, I spent years hiding my disability. Now it's my superpower.
Yes. So I didn't start talking openly about my disability until probably 8 months ago. Which is crazy because it's visible, but it never seemed to serve me. Every time I asked for an accommodation, I was denied really throughout my life. So even getting into law school, I was denied accommodations to write the LSAT exams. So I had to go through an appeal process. So I stopped talking about it from a young age because it didn't serve me, it didn't seem to matter, and I just figured out a way to work harder. And that all shifted for me when I lost my dad in October of 2023, who also had the same disability. And it was in losing him that I realized that I was supposed to be doing something different than law, and use my advocacy skills to help other people. So I went on this journey, of radical self-acceptance, and I started to talk about it. And in doing so, I realized that it has been my superpower because it's given me the strongest and loudest voice.
Take us through the journey and what you've kind of been going through.
Yeah, so the journey to speaking? Yeah, so after losing my dad, I went to law school because I thought, I've been advocating for myself my whole life. So law seemed like a natural course. And I thought I would be good at it. I was good at it. But I remember the day that I got called to the bar, I was full of dread. Everybody around me was so excited. And I thought, oh my God, this is what I have to do for the rest of my life. I repressed that. And I got to the point after losing my dad where my mental health wasn't good. I remember waking up in the mornings thinking it would be easier to be dead than to go to work every day. And I remember sharing this with colleagues who were also lawyers and they would look back at me and say, yeah, me too. And I thought, is this what we have normalized? Just living to work and hating every minute of it. And it was in that moment that I thought, I'm not moving forward this way. So I went on this, I started to work with a coach, and I went on this journey of what is it that I should be doing. And in talking about my journey, I started to naturally empower others. And now I just want to talk about it to help people find their purpose. A
bunch of things you said there, so bear with me here. Wonderful that you were able to speak to some colleagues at your law firm. And then by making the change, you decided yourself to make the change. You made the phone call. You got a life coach to kind of help you through all this, transforming your life to what it is now.
Yeah.
To where you do feel comfortable standing up, talking in front of hundreds of people at a time. And this, we're talking about the Speaker Slam. I know you're also going to be doing a TED Talks coming up at McMaster. So you're finding your niche now. When you're talking, what is it what's the message that you try to get across to people?
My message is that, I think for so long, like I said, I didn't talk about it because I wanted to be like everybody else. But the power of being not like everybody else is something that everybody can tap into, but we don't really live in a society that supports that. We really live in a people-pleasing society where we're living for other people's expectations. So what I like to talk about is, really throughout my life, I've received a lot of no's. It's been one no after the next, which required me to pivot and figure out my own yes. And that's what I want to help other people do, is to understand that no does not mean you can't do it. It means maybe there's another direction for you, and instead of feeling defeated, to be empowered by those opportunities.
I can only imagine someone such as yourself, you're disciplined. You have to be strong-willed, you have to have a strong mind, you have to have a strong heart. You've been through things that none of us here in this studio can probably ever imagine, but you continue to fight. And that's also, I think, part of the inspiration. You're still here to talk about it when you could have easily folded the cards and said, I'm done. And
Yeah.
you've taken that next step.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. And I think, you know, something I also like to say is lots of people will tell those with disabilities, like, you know, you're so resilient. And what I like to remind people is there really isn't an option, you know? You have to keep going. And we're all dealt a different set of cards. And I think when you start talking about things from a vulnerable place, you really find your people. And sometimes you need to find new people who can help lift you up and show you a different direction.
And by doing something like that, it means you have to maybe get out of your comfort zone a little bit.
Totally.
Bring other people into your circle.
And be prepared to lose people along the way, because sometimes the pack that you're within likes you to be in your comfort zone, because once you start rattling the cage, it makes people uncomfortable because it reflects back to them that they're staying stuck. So I think in order to move forward, people really need to be prepared that life's going to look different, but as the people that no longer suit you leave your life, it makes room for those to come in that can help you on the journey.
So well said, so well said. Talk to us about the International Speaking Competition, how you're preparing for that, what the message will be, so on and so forth.
Yeah, so this is something that kind of fell into my lap, because as the universe does, when you really step into your purpose, things just present themselves to you. So the theme is no risk, no reward. And I intend to sort of take people on a journey of, you know, my challenges, but how at the end of the day, the risk that I always took was on myself. And when people bet on themselves, that's where they find their power.
Former or current NBA player, Fred VanVleet, same thing. Bet on yourself. And that's what he did. Now he's a multimillionaire. So you have to take those chances, and you also have to be willing to accept whatever the outcome might be, good or bad.
Right, because failure doesn't mean that you have to stop. Failure means you're being shown a lesson or a new direction, and it's to not get bogged down by that, right? Not get in your head. You know, the best failing and then being in the same spot you were in just means you get to try again. But people are so afraid to even try that first time. And
I think one thing that people deal with is, and you just kind of hit it on the head there, is you fail. Some people just get tired. You're just, why do I keep doing this? But there is a light at the end of the tunnel. If you do get knocked down 7 times, 20 times, it doesn't matter. You get up 21 times. Because you find that purpose.
Right. And failure's telling you that you're supposed to be doing something different, right? Or it's continuing to show up to teach you a lesson. So if you're open to it and you're able to zoom out and look at it from a third-party perspective, it helps you to get out of your head. Yeah.
And it helps to have that support. And I'm sure internally in your world, the passing of your father, no doubt, traumatic life experience. You have mother, you have some other family and friends close by, right?
Yes, yeah, and I have a great support system, great friends, great family, but a lot of friends left, you know,
as
on this
you alluded
journey.
to, yeah.
Yes, and that's okay, and people are afraid of that. So, you know, I just would love people to embrace that, because change means a lot of positivity.
And when new people come in or old people go out, you've still learned something from that experience.
Yeah, absolutely. And people continue to create relationships with the same kinds of people often, right? And it ends in the same way, right? So you have to ask yourself, why do I keep going into these relationships, right? What is the lesson here? And when you learn that lesson, you start creating space for better friendships and relationships, and you're operating from a place of self-respect, because you're not going to accept people that aren't on the same level as you, who aren't prepared to support you.
Very inspirational. Lindsey, LindseyMazza.com.
That's right,
Is the
yeah.
website. Go check her out. Thank you.
Thank
you
you.
for your inspiration, for coming here and talking to us. And we wish you all the best at the international speaking competition coming up.
Thank you.
Alrighty, there you have it. Lindsey Mazza.